In another important story tonight, police in southern Ohio have a dragnet out for a killer who executed 8 members of one family.
It's the largest homicide investigation the state of Ohio has ever seen. The Rhoden family massacre stunned the community of Pike County, and the identity of the alleged killers arrested in 2018 was no less shocking. The dramatic 911 calls that came into the Pike County Sheriff's Office offered a chilling backdrop to the shooting deaths of 8 members of one family, has left the small community gripped with fear. The voice of the young woman, Bobby Jo Manley, who found the first of 8 victims of execution-style killings in rural Ohio, was breathless and distraught as she told 911 dispatchers of her grim discovery.
Yes, I need to get the 40 victims. Hold on. I need to tell me the address. What's the address? Give me just a second. We walk to the mailbox. I think my brother-in-law's dead. Okay, what's the address? Give me just a second. 4077 Union Hill Road. 4077. 4077. Okay, 4077 Union Hill, correct? Yes, 4077 Union Hill Road. Ma'am, you gotta tell me what's going on. There's blood all over the house. Okay. My brother-in-law's in the bedroom and looks like I beat the hell out of him. Okay. There's blood all over the front room. Ma'am, can you tell me what county that's in? Is it Pike County? It's Pike County? Yes, and they drug him in the bedroom. Okay, I need you to get out of the house.
Residents in Pike County woke up on April 2016 to what seemed like a horror movie. 8 members of the Rhoden family had been murdered. The victims were Christopher Rhoden Sr., 40, his ex-wife Dana Manley Rhoden, 37, their 3 children, Hannah Mae Rhoden, 19, Christopher Rhoden Jr., 16, Clarence Frankie Rhoden, 20. Frankie Rhoden's fiancée Hannah Gilly, 20, was also killed, along with brothers and cousin of Christopher Rhoden Jr., Kenneth Rhoden, 44, and Gary Rhoden, 38. The bodies were first discovered after Bobby Jo Manley, a sister of victim Dana Rhoden, came to feed pets at the home. Police were first alerted after receiving 911 call about 2 bodies inside a home on Union Hill Road. Manley discovered 2 more bodies in the second home on the property. Her brother James Manley went to check on their sister Dana and discovered the 3rd crime scene, where the police found 3 more victims when they arrived. 3 young children, ages 3 years old, 6 months, and 4 days old, were unharmed during the shootings, with the 4-day-old being found in bed with her mother's body. 7 adults and a 16-year-old were among those slain. Officials say all the victims found at 4 separate homes had been shot in the head, some while in their bed. 3 children, including a 4-day-old, survived the ordeal. As word of the killing spread, Donald Stone, like many other Pike County residents, decided to go check on his cousin Kenneth Rhoden, who lived on Left Fork Road, only a few miles away from Union Mill Road.
911. There's Pike County, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah.
This is 911. Can I help you?
Yeah, I need a deputy to come out to close to 799 Left Fork.
Okay.
It's all this stuff that's on the news. I just found my cousin with a gunshot wound.
Okay. Sir, is he alive?
No.
Okay. And you're at 799 Left Fork?
It's close to 799. I don't know what his address is. You don't have a box.
You don't have a box. Okay.
I'll be standing out by the road waiting on him.
At least 5 search warrants were executed. More than 50 people were interviewed in connection with the killings. 79 pieces of evidence was examined, but still, 1 year later, no arrests were made.
I'm the mother of Christopher Sr. and the mother of Kenneth. And I'd just like to say from my mother's heart that I hurt so bad inside from the day that I found out. And I'd like to say, if there's someone out there that knows anything about what happened, would they please come forward and tell what happened? There has to be someone. It was almost like the world had ended when I found out about the family that they took out. My grandchildren.
Investigators believe the murders were premeditated and that the perpetrators were known to the Rhoden family. On April 25th, the Ohio Attorney General's office confirmed the presence of marijuana growth and cockfighting operations at some of the crime scenes, but did not confirm a direct connection to the killings. The investigation soon became the largest in Ohio's history. On June 20th, 2017, Ohio police announced that they were seeking additional information on Jake Wagner, who shared a child with one of the victims, Hannah Wagner, as well as his parents, Billy and Angela, and brother George. The family was living in Alaska at that time. The Wagners have been on the radar of federal authorities since the summer of 2017, but investigators had always stopped short of calling them suspects. They were longtime friends with the Wagner, who lived nearby in Pebbles, Ohio, at the time of the killings. In November 2018, 4 members of the Wagner family were arrested in Ohio and Kentucky, charged with the 8 murders. Edward Jake Wagner, an ex-boyfriend of victim Hannah Wagner and father of her 3-year-old daughter, pleaded guilty to all 8 murders but admitted to shooting only 5 of the 8 victims. The motive? Hannah Wagner's refusal to sign forged legal documents granting custody of her 2-year-old daughter is what ultimately cost her life and the lives of 7 of her family members. The investigation uncovered a complicated and carefully planned mass murder that leveraged surveillance cameras and hacked social media accounts. On December 15, 2015, according to evidence revealed in court, Jake Wagner hacked into Hannah Wagner's Facebook account and read a private message saying she would never relinquish custody of her daughter and that they'd have to kill her before she signed the documents. The two began dating when Hannah Wagner was 13 years old, and she was pregnant at 15. According to prosecutors, the relationship later ended and then she had a second child with another man. Jake Wagner would spend the next 4 months preparing, buying ammunition, magazines, and brass catchers to collect shell casings rather than leaving them as evidence. He bought materials to make silencers for rifles and 2 handguns. He used cell phone jammers and video surveillance equipment to study the habits of his victims. Then, on April 22, 2016, he carried out the plan, personally murdering 5 of the 8 Wagner across 3 different homes, while eldest Wagner, George Wagner, is suspected of 3 of the killings. His case is set for August 29, 2022. On April 21, 2021, 5 years to the day that the bodies of the Wagner families were found shot to death, Edward Jake Wagner pleaded guilty to 8 counts of aggravated murder and a slew of other charges. The state of Ohio agreed as part of the guilty plea not to seek the death penalty for him, his father, his mother, or his older brother as part of the deal. Wagner, who admitted to shooting only 5 of the 8 victims, agreed to cooperate with prosecutors and testify against his family members. In September 2021, he was sentenced to 8 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. On September 10, 2021, Angela Wagner pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit aggravated murder, several counts of aggravated burglary, tampering with evidence, and other charges as part of the plea deal. The remaining 8 counts of aggravated murder were dismissed. Father George Wagner case is still ongoing with a trial date set for August 2022.